First and foremost, we have to acknowledge this 4-week-old set, this Black History Month times Valentine's Day mashup set. Oh, how beautiful. Let's get into it. Okay, so today we're going to start off by using the Speedy bit. This is from like Elegance. This is a very aggressive bit. We're going to use this to remove any bulk, but mostly the design here. I don't need to take too much off her nail. I really needed to bring down the product that's more towards the cuticle area so that I can prep much better. So keep that in mind if you have a higher apex on a longer nail, or maybe a sculpted nail, or with a more European structure where your apex is a little further back, anything like that, that you may need to take your apex down in order to access the cuticle area. But I'm using this bit, like I said, of course, to get the design off, debulk a little. You can see me kind of focusing more towards that product near the cuticle area, just so I can lower it down and get my prep bits back there much better. So I have this bit at about usually 28, 30,000, maybe even higher RPMs on my e-file. I do recommend, no matter which quality, price point of e-file you get, you find one that shows some type of display, albeit the knob or a digital readout of your RPMs. That way you can, know where you're at and have consistency and know what does and doesn't work for you. That's my recommendation, instead of trying to hear it and guess it and have to go back in and make minor adjustments. It can add time and frustration. So I'm using the crosscut bit to remove kind of the bulk of the overgrown cuticle on the nail plate. I don't really do this prep process now. I evolve over time and years. This video, let's not play ourselves. This is from Black History Month and Valentine's Day last year, if you follow me on Instagram. So this has been a year ago. But I mean, similar, objective here. Of course, we're trying to remove as much cuticle from the nail plate and get that nice and clean and pretty back there. We don't want to damage, remove, or damage the nail plate or harm the skin. So I'm using a skiver bit. This isn't as small as I would like, and I don't use this bit anymore. And I'm using it on reverse to kind of get some of that cuticle off the nail plate. I felt like it just wasn't. It wasn't necessary. Let me go back in with this bit. This is the light Elegance, and I think it's is it the itty bitty bit? My apologies. No matter where you get your bits from, I do recommend Atwood Industries, Erica's ATA as well. Diamond bits, you can find something similar on here or find your preference. A lot of these work in similar ways. We just want to be mindful of our angles, our speed. I'm using this at about 8,000 RPMs on this client. And I use this both in reverse and in forward, as you can see, all around the cuticle area. So I'm bringing down left side one direction, right side the other. Go around the whole thing. You'll get a much cleaner end result. Keep in mind your angle and your speed. I'll keep repeating that because we don't want to damage the nail bed. If we have too high of an angle, we can dig into it. So now I'm using this, I think it's the Buffy bit from Light Elegance. I'm using this in reverse as well to come around the cuticle area and buff that skin off, any excess loose hanging skin, and then soften any calluses as well. Maybe they have near the sidewalls, anything like that. If there is a lot of excess skin loose and hanging and dead, then I'll go ahead and clip that off with the nippers. If I ever use the nippers, I'll go back over with this bit and buff that area back out so we don't have just a straight edge on our very organic skin. We don't want that. So buff it back out if you clip, just over whatever area you clip. I do want to take a little break and let you guys know I am going live on TikTok kind of pretty regularly now. So follow me on TikTok if you want to see some live content, ask some questions, see me just work on clients, or chit chat with my mom while we're doing nails. So follow me there. Link will be in the description bar. So you'll get little tips and tricks like this. My tip for beginners is flip the hand. Make sure you even things out and get it straight. You get such a good perspective and a different perspective when you flip the hand. You can line up the knuckles, or you can see if your client's nails curve and twist, how to create an illusion to best balance them out or make them look balanced out. Okay, that might not be like a life-changing tip, but you want me to answer your question? I go live with clients sometimes. Those are usually quiet kind of sessions. But and then I get there on there by myself sometimes and just answer some questions as well, or just chit chat, chill, hang out, make something cute. So back to our current nail set from a year ago. I used Elegance's Tack 2 Prime. I dusted the nails off, cleansed them, dehydrated them, of course, and then primed with Elegance's Tack. And I believe that I'm using Cashmere Extreme from Elegance as well. I don't, this current day and age, like to use this viscosity of the extreme, this viscosity, which is the extreme on this length of nail. If you're familiar with the Light Elegance products, it's not the strongest product whatsoever. So I don't really recommend it once you get into longer length nails. Keep it on them shorties, mediums, max is my recommendation. The color is beautiful. So we're applying a slip layer, of course, as always. I recommend when you're using gel to not try that slip layer if you haven't. Don't leave that behind. It's not an absolute must, but I feel it's a must if you want a nice, close cuticle area. It allows you to be more precise. So you can do gel without a slip layer. But why? You want to have that nice, close, and clean cuticle area. That slip layer helps you do that. When you're applying that slip layer, please, please, please make it thin. I tell people make it thin. Make it thinner than you think. Just a little bit on the brush, a little bit more than dry brushing. So I filed and shaped off camera. We're going to get into the design. A lot of these colors are, of course, from Madam Glam. Backtrack this a little bit and you see the discount code. If you shop with them, it's only if you're not a VIP member or have the membership. So you just have to buy them outright, but you'll get I think it's a 30% discount. So I am airbrushing, and there is, drama about the airbrushing safety and things like that. Like I said, this was a year ago before I had the information. Me and my client both have masks on by default. I have goggles, and yeah, so we're safe. We survived, but we did start this set off with airbrushing the tip just for that nice little shadow. Adds a lot of character to it. It's just a very light, kind of, not noticeable situation, if you will. I'm using a bluish color, but I really think it makes it the overall look over here as, with what we're doing. Can I get sentences? Okay, I can't. I haven't done this in so long. It's my fault, right? So I am going in and we're just going back and forth. We're going to go back and forth on the video, and I went back and forth when I did this on the client in real life. So I believe I'm using, I know I'm using the Daily Charm striper brush, and you guys know I have a Daily Charm coupon, discount code or whatnot, and it is Tabitha 10, TABYTHA 10. I always put it. And it's unlimited. You can use it today, tomorrow. You just can't combine it with another sale. So, that's always there. Top of the 10. Just know that. Sleep it, dream it. So as you can see, going back and forth, applying these colors. And these stripes, I'm doing different thicknesses. This set is inspired by another nail technician. I have to find who it is. And if you guys know off the top of your head, feel free to tag them. I'll try to put it in the description bar. I won't try. I'll just have to scroll far, far back to find this inspo, and I'll put it down there for you. So I did not come up with this beautiful, beautiful concept and idea, but it just really looked like something I wanted to do. I'm scared of flowers. I really am. And I was only bold enough to do this set with the flowers because they're very they're not too structured, more so just loose, abstract flowers. I had an air bubble there and it was driving me crazy. So I had to buff that down, file that down so I could fill in the air bubble. I just used Jimmy gel to go over that area to fill that in so I can smooth it back out. Yeah. So with these flowers, you can see they're not hard. The brush is doing most of the work for me, and that brush is from Daily Charm. This brush is the Daily Charm triangle brush. I had to go check and double check and make sure. So you can see, as stated, that this brush is doing a lot of the work. Because I'm such a perfectionist, and I don't mean that in anything but a negative way in this context, getting flowers balanced and looking right in my head to me is very hard and challenging. But like I said, with these, they're kind of more abstract, very, kind of loose and whimsical. So I felt more confident, and I think it worked with the skill level of flower I feel like I can make. I feel like this set really embodied that. So just keep that in mind when you see the final result. But I think I'm in love with this set. I'm giving myself a hard time, but I really think it came out nice. And I've just held on to this set for a year, I guess because I loved it so much and wanted to keep it secret to myself. I don't know. So I'm going in and filling these areas with these colors. And you can see I'm trying to switch because none of them are the same pattern in colors. And again, going in between thick, thin. These things are kind of winged in certain areas with the color placements and etc. of course. But I kept most of the colors pretty similar overall in tone, because I felt like the color combo really also made this set. I feel like you can do it in a variety of ways, but I felt like that was also appealing with the different shades and tones. So I just took that limoncello, I just know what that color is because I love it so much, dotted that in the center of those flowers, and you see how that yellow pops. And then I'm going in and creating these leaves, and I'm going in with this more medium length brush. This is the medium striper brush from Wildflowers Nails. I absolutely love this brush. And I'm going in and making these leaves. And these are pretty simple as well. Again, they don't have to be perfect. You see, they read as leaves. And I'm just using mostly the shape of the tip of the brush just to create most of the shape organically, and kind of swinging out to the left, swinging out to the right, but really just using how that brush kind of goes into the tip and leaving more paint in my brush intentionally so it's more bulbous on the tip. So when I lay it down, we get that point on the tip to create kind of the pointier part of the leaf. Then it gets bulbous. And, we're just back to lines over there. It's just lines. And in between colors, not that you asked, because it's just me doing this recording in a closet by myself. But in between colors, because this is a lot of back and forth between colors, you can use multiple brushes, or me, I just clean it off and Bob Ross style on a little napkin or edge of my acetone little cup. And then keep it moving, because I just love my brushes that I use, and I don't have multiple of the same one. So yeah, you can see now we're doing the outline, and this is probably the most tedious part of this, and it wasn't really challenging because, again, I let a lot of things go, having to understand that this needs to look kind of not too perfected, more abstract, kind of more intentionally childlike in a way. And I told you that kind of is how I feel about my flower skills anyway, but it reads well. So just little lines. These lines don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be all the way on the color. They can be kind of outside of it. And just adding slight details, adding just a little line down the center of the leaf for little boop boops in the flower. Just add a little more detail to it to make it read better, but again, not difficult. Add some more pizzazz to it. So I'm just going in with a black, your best black that you have. I don't remember which one I was using here, but more than likely it was a sample one, knowing me. So adding this black really makes this set pop, in my opinion. So if you even switch out the colors, I still recommend you have some type of stark contrast. And for this, it's the black. If you change the colors around, it may be white or something. Or maybe you don't do this at all and you just are watching this video for the fun of it. That's cool too. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm just outlining the edge of those stripes, then coming around the edge, of course, and then adding a little detail in those stripes, just a little bit, adding a little bit of that black in there. Going back with my medium brush. I said I'm just going back and forth the entirety of this time, just switching between these fingers. And the reason I recommend that is so you can lock in, because we're using gel. Once we get it into our LED light, it's going to be into cure and it'll be locked in. So if you get the design how you want it, go ahead, lock it in, and you can go on with another step, another layer, add some more detail, another finger. That way you don't have to worry about messing it up. So I'm just going in and matting out these fingers that are done. That's one of my, when I'm doing nail art, like a lot usually, I like to kind of go in percentages, and I'm like, okay, I have these two are completely done. They don't need anything else whatsoever. They're top coated, boom. Two of them, 20% are just done right now. And I know we got details on the other that would make the percentage higher. But anyways, so I'm like, they're done. Let's top coat it, keep it moving. And it just makes me feel good and productive. So going back and forth between these. And my tip, again, I'm not the best with the flowers. I always tell people I'm not the best with like curves and swerves and filigree. I'm always down to get better. I'm not giving up. But when you are doing more curvy lines and swirls and things like that, it's better to have a shorter length brush, even shorter than this one, depending on the detail that you're trying to do. But if you want straight lines like this, you can see I'm going into that long striper brush. And with that striper brush, I'm using the length of that brush to my advantage. So when I'm going straight down that nail, I'm really using probably about 2/3 of the body of the brush and laying it more flat. You don't want to have your brush at a high angle to do those type of lines. There's instances where you want, use the brush a variety of ways. So there's instances you will want to maybe use just the tip of the brush to do certain details. I use less of the brush when I'm curving a little bit. But we're onto this hand. We're top coating over here. Look how good that looks. This would, actually be pretty cute, shiny. And you guys know I'm usually pretty polarized on that subject. It's either matte or shiny. But I think these would be cute. At least that flower hand for sure would be cute, shiny. But it just looks so good matte. Right? Right. So, you can see our final result. How beautiful. Put a flower emoji down below. Put a flower already. Put it now, because this says beautiful. And I'm sorry for holding it onto it for a year. Follow me on TikTok, because like I said, I'm going live and doing more and getting more content out there. Going live is pretty easy for me and a great way for us to connect. You can get information and just, see what's up. See, I'm a nail tech day to day. So, come on over. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe here on YouTube. I have videos in the vault. I'm trying to get out to y'all. Obviously, some are even a year old. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.